We have this segment, JAMPRO Connect, that we've been having on Fridays, and we're looking at businesses and opportunities. This is episode 4, actually. We're looking at value-added limestone products and why businesses should diversify. I think this one is definitely an interesting one. I'm going to be joined this morning, I am joined by, here she's on, Manager for Manufacturing, Logistics, and Special Economic Zones, Berletta Henlon Lee. Berletta Henlon Lee. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I tend to have some insight on this topic as well, so I am very interested in this one, and I really want to ask. Well, giving a bit of context to the listeners, Jamaica has some of the best limestone in the world. I repeat again for our listeners who didn't know, do your research. You can Google it. It is factual. Jamaica has some of the best limestone in the world. People are hawking us down, trying to get our limestone. So I'm going to ask Ms. Henlon Lee, what is your general outlook for Jamaica, especially for those who are limestone providers?
So, let me just say off the bat, very positive outlook, and just to speak to what you just mentioned, we do have some of the best limestone in the world. Jamaica, and what gives me this positive outlook is the fact that, first of all, I believe that our country's wealth resides in its natural resources, and limestone is Jamaica's largest mineral resource by far. It is also one of those raw materials that goes into, so many products across the range, from food to pharmaceutical to industrial to manufactured products, plastics, metal, steel, you name it. Limestone is an ingredient in those kinds of products. Jamaica has approximately 85% limestone. Approximately 85% of Jamaica's surface coverage is limestone. 85%. Now, I hate to say that not all of that is recoverable, because a lot of it is, we've had construction on it. Housing, etc. So it's not all recoverable. But it is estimated by the experts that we have over 150 billion metric tons of limestone reserves, and of that amount, about 50 billion is deemed recoverable. So that's huge.
That's huge for those who understand. That translate to billions of US dollars. So.
Absolutely, and most importantly, Sanjay, is it Sanjay I'm speaking with?
Yes, it's Sanjay.
Sanjay, my apologies.
Yes.
Most importantly, we have high purity limestone.
Yes.
We have great results of high purity limestone. Some of it up to 98% calcium carbonate purity, which gives us the opportunity to produce for the products that require the highest quality inputs, such as our food. If we look at some of the ingredients in some of the food, if we read labels, we'll see that it has calcium carbonate. That's limestone.
Right.
It has to be limestone of a particular purity. In our medications, similarly. And
you said toothpaste?
Pardon me?
You said toothpaste?
Toothpaste, absolutely.
Yes. I know that
among the many products.
Right.
So yes, indeed, I think the general outlook for Jamaica is very positive, because we're sitting on all of this resource, and it's a highly demanded product.
Yeah, so my next question is, why should investors consider value-added limestone products?
So I'm glad you mentioned value-added, because at JAMPRO, our focus is to encourage investors to move away from simply producing the raw material, which we're largely doing now, and to move up the value. Because investors are looking for the best return on investment, right? So primarily, our limestone in Jamaica is being produced, quarried for construction purposes.
Right.
Because, and especially with the boom in construction, you just have to look around to see there's construction going on around us all the time. So roadways, housing construction, hotels, all these large hotels that are being built, runways, you name it. Most of the material is going into those kinds of activities as construction aggregate. But that's your basic raw material, which just goes through crushing, etc. If you're looking to really get the value from the material, then JAMPRO is encouraging you to go into value added. Simply because you can make much more money from it. It obviously requires more investment because you have to invest in certain types of equipment and technology and human resources, etc., to be able to produce that. But we are always seeking to get investors to look at how you can add value. And I'm happy to say that we do have some investors in this space who are into value added. We don't have enough, but we do have value added products such as, for example, manufactured sand, so which is considered adding further value. So it's one product that has been in the space to reduce the reliance on river sand and depleting our beaches, etc. So we have manufactured sand. We have other value-added products, ground calcium carbonate. We have that's an input into some of these manufactured items that I spoke about and that you spoke about.
Right.
And some of that is being exported, which is another reason why we are encouraging investors to get into more value-added production.
Yeah, and on that point, have you noticed any rise in the international demand, in particular for limestone products?
Absolutely. Where we sit at JAMPRO, the inquiries are endless. We have a lot of inquiries coming out of North America because in some sections of North America, their limestone resources are depleted, or they do not have the quality, or the sources such as Mexico are drying up for them for various reasons. So they're looking. What we have is resource-seeking investors looking to Jamaica. So JAMPRO is fielding a lot of inquiries. I'm happy to say as well that our local manufacturers, our local limestone companies are also stepping up. So we have companies that are building out plants to produce value-added products. We have at least 2, maybe 3 companies that are consistent exporters of value-added products. There is high demand in Guyana, where, with the boom coming out of their oil industry, there are a lot of demand for products to come from Jamaica. So we now have more companies exporting to Guyana or seeking to export material to Guyana. So those are just some of the opportunities that we are seeing that gives us hope in terms of the demand and the fact that Jamaica is well positioned to supply.
My final question to you is, how does JAMPRO currently support businesses within the limestone sector, and what would businesses expect if they're looking at entering that sector?
Well, first of all, JAMPRO promotes the business opportunities, and I should mention here that we have actually developed some investment opportunity profiles for limestone value-added products. These profiles are available through JAMPRO. So if an investor is interested in getting into something, I mentioned ground calcium carbonate before and manufactured sand, but I also mentioned cultured marble, which we are actively pushing and encouraging people to get involved in. Cultured marble is a product that looks like natural marble, but is made from limestone. It's manufactured from limestone. So we have investment profiles developed for those, so JAMPRO is promoting those profiles. We're also connecting investors to what they need, whether you're a foreign investor or a local investor. If you need a location, you need a partnership, you need to engage with regulatory agencies such as Mines and Geology Division or NEPA. JAMPRO is your connector. We also assist businesses in finding export markets, finding buyers overseas, because we're very much about export. And while most of our limestone operators are doing very well locally, we are encouraging them to go after that foreign exchange and take advantage of those opportunities. And we are also collaborating with the relevant government agencies that provide approvals, etc. We're collaborating with the Ministry of Transport and Mining on policy changes that need to be made around limestone. And finally, we are directing companies that are involved in manufacturing in limestone, and I emphasize manufacturing, meaning value added. We are assisting them in accessing government incentives for that manufacturing.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Miss Berletta Henlon Lee. And of course, my listeners appreciated this segment and hearing about what JAMPRO is doing with limestone. So thank you for joining us, Miss Berletta Henlon Lee. All right. That is the manager for manufacturing, logistics, and special economic zones at JAMPRO. And this, of course, is JAMPRO Connect. And we look forward to our next episode of JAMPRO Connect. We're going for a break, listeners.